My summary and reply in return. I am the mother, and yes, I want my children back. They are the most important thing to me in this entire world. For your information, Mr. Quinones, I have a lot to say to you indeed. However, you will find my letter to you amongst all the other letters to those involved in the matter within the following. But for now, I'll just reply to this last page. I, however, am not making up any allegations, let alone outrageous ones. The only thing outrageous about all of this is, in fact, your dishonesty and lack of attention, care, and empathy for yourself, as well as many others involved legally throughout this entire process. There is something not right, and honest abuse happening to at least one of my children, Ivy Quinn, and I had stated this fact to you. Never had I claimed that both of my children were being abused. Since, of course, Christine appears to favor Lila by expressing her bias toward my eldest. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely care for both of my children equally, and I worry for their safety equally, and I love them equally. However, I do not believe that Lila is being abused, only Ivy. Considering she is the one who is often closed out and excluded from events, as well as always put in the background, and not to mention, Ivy ended up with the bruising. Ivy ended up heavily medicated. And I think this very video, I believe, strongly disregards your opinion entirely. Ivy is suffering the most, and you're ignoring this factor. And let's hope Christine doesn't take it beyond a stopping point and winds up hurting my child to the point of no return. Like I said, alter the photograph in my ass. Now please tell me how you'll next defend Christine against these, what did you call them, allegations? No, Julio Quinones, they are facts. I present to you facts. Real life events of concerns that have happened and continue to happen due to your lack of consideration for others, including your own personal employment. And quite personally, I don't think you have any reasons to defend her other than to save your own ass, I'm sure. And I hope you're quite aware that you are now in support of an egotistical, narcissistic, child-abusing psychopath. And are you most certain that you would like to associate yourself with somebody who completely lacks moral compass? Is it worth your job? I am so shocked and blown away by you, Mr. Quinones, acting as if you had concerns like you're a being with actual feelings and dedication to your duties to protect children from monsters like Christine. And instead, you have given children up to the horrible monster by the name of Christine, and you have left those who love and keep the children safe behind in the shadows yet again. You should be very ashamed of yourself. And let it be known, I will express myself freely throughout this entire presentation, without a care in the world about any negative repercussions, because I have nothing left.
I have nothing left to lose.
And is protected by human rights, the First Amendment.
Freedom of speech.
I will express myself freely just as you expressed yourself.
That way, perhaps my terrible experience with this corruption provided by the staff of the Butte County Courthouse, as well as your own personal corruption, maybe then warn others, caution, when approaching the personal situations at the Butte County Courthouse, so they and their children in return don't have to suffer like my children and I have had to. I do, however, want to just take a moment to tell you I do absolutely appreciate you giving me the time to speak with you. It is in fact more than anyone has done yet, however, you did not listen by any means, which in return defeated the entire purpose of even speaking to you, so it really doesn't even matter either way. So
Therefore, each outcome would have been as useless as the next.
As well, thank you for actually and finally conducting the background check. While I do believe you only did this one because perhaps you grew nervous, thinking maybe she's right, maybe Michelle isn't lying in regards to the guardianship's lies and arrest history. Of course, sir, you did fail to provide to me the latest report admitting finally having a background check conducted on the guardian, Christine Marie Olsen. And well, again, probably to save your own ass, just to delay enough time to come up with a way to pin your mistakes and neglectful research on me, right? Vexatious litigant? Let me ask you something, sir. Do you even know what a vexatious litigant is? Allow me to define. A vexatious litigant is someone who files multiple lawsuits against another person for the purpose of burying him in paper. For example, a vexatious litigant is inspired to file a lawsuit against another person so as to harass that person. Now the definition is established, let me ask you kindly, what the hell makes me a vexatious litigant? Or even to receive the threat of becoming one? Christine, yes. Me, not even close. I've never even filed a goddamn lawsuit or buried anyone in paper. All I've ever done was, well, fight back for what's mine and not hers. My children. I only sought their protection and return home. The only things I have ever done or filed was termination of guardianship and RFO for the falsified DVRO Christine lied through her teeth to obtain. Or otherwise quiet him on an issue. As well as file evidence, which the sharp assistants has directed me through. Nothing there considers me the fictitious litigant. As far as I'm concerned, I have a right to bring on any damn thing I please, since y'all allowed Christine to lie and obtain guardianship of my children. Who knew it would be so easy to just kidnap children? Not just one, but two. Bullcrap. It's just a cover for your mess up and that's it.
I'm
I'm
not
not
stupid.
And I do know the things that you have said to me personally, and so does my witness. And no, the boyfriend wasn't more important, Mr. Quinones. Now, y'all are just grasping at whatever vicious fightbacks you can, because you know I'm in the right and you're in the wrong. And well, it reminds me of high school students, to be honest. And yes, makes me very questionable of the process, because it's highly unprofessional and ran by airheads, if you ask me. As for back on top of the allegation stuff, not me, never allegations, only facts. I do not have time for the childish game Christine seems to like to play. I have kids to save. Now the only allegations here are those Christine has brought forth and the ones that you have entertained alongside the devil. For all that she has and all that you have, you're aware of this, as well as you will clearly see this in all the evidence I have worked many days and many nights on, each and every day, every hour, every minute, gathering to prove Christine Olsen is nothing more than a liar, a narcissistic, and highly mentally unwell being who is the last person on this entire earth who ever should be in the place of care provider for young children. She is wicked, she is dishonest, and she is abusive. This woman who used to be my sister is now, in fact, just a nightmare. And it is not fair for my children to have to suffer and be around this woman daily, nightly, because of your dishonest referral to the judge, knowing very well she determines her decisions based on what you say, since she can't seem to make her own decisions. I would like to know as to why you had stated to the judge that I ignored boundaries that I had no idea even existed, and I addressed this to you as well. And I had called you personally, and I have a witness who heard all of it, that you were even aware of. It truly makes me wonder, are you just ignoring the fact, or do you really not remember? If either, you should probably choose a new career, because I don't know if you remember, Mr. Quinones, but you had told me over the telephone, when I had called you to address my concern for Christine removing my court-ordered telephonic visit with my children, you said to me, she can't do that. Unless the therapist has written something, she can say all that she wants until I get the proof from the therapist. You keep trying to contact your children. You keep track. I'll suggest you also write a compliance letter to her, because guardian can be held in contempt for this. You had told me to be polite and kind while writing my compliance letter to the guardian, and I did just that. And you used it against me. As for the DVRO events that had taken place at the Counselor Center, Butte County Behavioral Health, you know very well when I had gone into your office personally and I had addressed my concerns, I had literally been so clueless when you had mentioned an incident that occurred. I was clueless because there was no incident. I told you that had happened, and you refused to tell the judge my side of the story, much like everything else. There was nothing in this world stating I could not go to the Butte County Mental Health. The only thing that related to this was the guardian's permission to me to go speak with the therapist, following a threat with HIPAA stating I had impersonated her when I had not. She told the courts I demanded my children back from the staff, and you had wrote that I tried to abduct them. Neither event occurred. But that simply does not justify your wording. You are the very reason why I'm having a hard time right alongside Christine. Like a team, you both, for whatever reason, cannot admit your wrongs, so you both set out to destroy whatever addresses your mistakes. Narcissist. It's sad, really, and it's very wrong. Disregard for my children's mental health? What the hell do you think all of this is about? I guarantee you, it's not me lacking concern for my children. In fact, it's all about my children, and all about the concern in the world, because they are placed by danger by you and Christine and other parties in the court who are involved who cannot admit their wrongs. You yourself had told me that you had suspected abuse that looked like a shiner when you saw the photograph of Ivy, and you told me that you would investigate it, but you lied to me and you instead went directly to the suspected abuser and potentially risked my daughter's safety that much more. You had risked my baby's well-being. You have not conducted your job properly or professionally. You have just placed my child in an even more miserable cycle of life that she will always suffer damages from and have bad memories from and miss out on her family, wondering why her mommy wasn't there anymore and her yaya or dad, why the life she always had just disappeared one day and didn't come back for her. You will discover how much damage it can cause, as it has caused Christine Olsen's daughter herself, Brandolyn Dorman, by not having a mother around. Brandolyn will always suffer from that heartache and pain now, and all that you guys are doing is just recreating that pain for another child. To be broken because no one wants to admit when they wronged. They skip steps of the process due to laziness, and they are biased, judgmental. Before meeting the mother myself, never even asked me a single question and completely sideswiped me into a hurricane of a mess called the Butte County Courthouse. Another thing, Why haven't you stated the allegations of abuse brought against me by the guardian are unfounded? You know that they are. Instead, you egg on the idea as if it existed, as if you were there and there's proof. Yeah, there's no proof because it never happened and I was never an unfit mother, nor was I deemed unfit. You act as if you were there in my past to see my past in action, which you know you weren't. I mean, you hadn't even talked to me, not once before I had done your job for you and made first contact seeking your help. As for the children, seen weekly by the therapist, I'd really like to know. Then why in the world couldn't you get a hold of Lila's therapist? I mean, she's a therapist. She answers her phones daily. They are there weekly, you said so yourself. I'm sure she's not going to let a phone call from an investigator go missed and unreturned. That is highly unlikely, so please get a new telephone. Seems as if you need one. As for my children finally getting education plans, by this do you mean schooling? Because I've heard Lila still has not started school yet. Please explain this one to me, yeah? Oh, on another important note, Mr. Quinones, tell me, I'm dying to know. How in the world are my children negatively impacted by contact with me at this moment of April 4th, 2021, when it had already been 67 days since I had last spoken with my children at this point, remember? You must remember, because, Guardian took my court-ordered telephonic visits away, as well as David's, and now, as of today, she has taken all communications away from everybody, including the children's brother and grandmother. Christine had unlawfully taken my calls away January 27, 2021. Like I said, 67 days since I had gotten to speak with my children by the time you made this claim in April. And it was following a very questionable message to me stating I used to lock my children in a room with no access to food nor water or restroom and all alone. Remember this? I'd shown you that Christine's daughter Brandolin's Facebook message to me in December of 2020. 1 month before Christine's message to me removing my calls, Brandolin admits that her mother used to do the same thing to her little brother Christopher Dorman and her when they were children. One of the abuses Christine, the almighty guardian of my children, used to do to her own children, what was it? Get this. She used to lock Brandolin and Christopher in a room, home alone, no access to food, water, or restroom. Wow, shocking. So explain this one to me, sir. How does one receive a message in December of 2020 explaining very shocking details of abuse caused by one's mother? In January of 2021, I get accused of the exact same thing. Like I abused my children, damn near word for word. How is that me making outrageous allegations? No, sir, no. It is not an allegation. It is not outrageous or interference. It is not made up. It is, in fact, the sick, twisted truth. Christine lacks imagination, so she simply puts me in the place of her, making me look as if I'm abusive, when in fact she's the abuser. And I have never done as much as spank my children. I am gentle, I am very kind, and I love my children more than Christine has ever thought to love anything in this world. I love my children more than Christine loves herself, and that in itself should tell you all. Because there's absolutely nothing in this world Christine loves other than herself, and in my personal opinion, Mr. Quinones, I truly do not think Christine is capable of loving outside of herself. My children do not belong with her. She is not right in her head. She is a horrible person, and she never deserved her own children even. And you should really reconsider what you lie in regard, should the truth be exposed one day. As for the drug test, Mr. Quinones, that was not ordered by the judge, just you. And yes, Mr. Quinones, according to California Family Code Section 3041.5a, allows the court in child custody, visitation, or guardianship proceedings to order any person who is seeking custody or visitation to undergo drug and alcohol testing. However, it's the ability of the judge's order. If the judge does decide to order drug testing to be done, the testing must be done in the least intrusive manner. You knew I didn't have the money. For I had stated I had $50 left to my name, and I was using it for gas. And I was, in fact, until I got a call from Orville Police telling me there was a restraining order against me the day I was going to leave. This is something you had not mentioned to me at all. The day I had been in your office, and you had mentioned this supposed incident that... But you had not given me any details, yet alone anything pertaining to a restraint order against me. You just left me in the dark all over again. And that is very suspicious, Mr. Quinones. I am literally blown away by the investigators in Butte County. They don't listen to anything, and in order to investigate, you really have to listen. A total disregard of my children's emotional well-being. What a load of crap. Now please, Mr. Quinones, stop negatively interfering with mine and my children's fundamental rights by overstepping our boundaries, protected by human rights and liberty of freedom. Respectfully corrected, Michelle N. Olson, the one and only mother of Ivy Quinn and Lila Mae. Free to state as I please, freedom of speech of personal opinion, protected by the First Amendment rights of human beings.
Argue it.